you can't get that many friends. I mean, Israel, let's be honest, they don't have that many friends. Most people are anti-Semitic. That's my personal opinion. I don't know. You can fight me.
I disagree. I don't think most people are anti-Semitic.
But the point being, here are people showing up saying, "I want to be Israel. I want to be a Jew. I want to be a Hebrew, whatever you want to call it," and we're like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Like, what in the world that doesn't even make any sense? Why would you throw people out?
It's a numbers game. It's clearly a numbers game. I think Muslims have figured it out. Christians have figured it out that if you don't impact the world won't impact you. Easy peasy. But I think you have to be taught otherwise. This is why I constantly attack mysticism, because I think that's the biggest enemy of the Jewish people. It gets you not to deal with reality and not to take responsibility for your consequences, because if you think that you're writing out some mystical idea, you don't have to be sorry for the bad that occur from it.
I mean, you really should be, as a Jew, concerned about the here and now, right? I mean, it's nice to learn about.
But that's what the Torah is concerned of,
right,
Yeah. I wish the Torah would have given us more of a glimpse of a more mystical side to Judaism or to God's will, but it doesn't. It doesn't give us enough for us to deviate from the plan. And the plan seems to be that we should prosper in this world, that we should make this world a better place. Now, clearly, there's still a mystical aspect to it. We're dealing with a spirit. We're dealing with God. But I think it doesn't want you to lose focus on the here and now. And the hell that's described in Torah seems to be a hell on earth, right? Not seeing your kids grow old, not having rain in its proper season, being exiled, being occupied. These are real concerns, but I guess that wasn't enough for people, that they had to create a place of eternal torment where the fire is not quenched. I don't know. I mean, was the Torah enough for the Jewish people that they had to introduce other books? And on and on. It seems like it's never enough for us. But I think part of growing up is doing the best with what we've been given and doing a lot with a little. This is why The Walking Dead is still on, and they're ready. Damn it.
Someone in the comment section is asking, is Judaism compatible with being a Freemason?
I think so.
Like the Rav himself is a Mason, huh?
Well, that's why she's asking, because somebody put it online. The Rav Asher Mason is a Freemason. I'm actually a chaplain in my lodge, so everywhere I go, I represent God to some extent. Even though, like, Freemasonry has.
I mean, that's kind of like asking, is like Boy Scouts and Judaism compatible? I mean,
well,
it's like a sensical question, isn't it?
Just because there's a lot of conspiracy and a lot of weird things written about Freemasonry, mainly the writings of Albert Pike. But if any of you guys really go into it, it's not like he's not really saying what he's accused of saying, although he does bring down Kabbalah and statements from the Zohar. But his statement about Lucifer is not talking about Lucifer. I mean, clearly everything in Masonry is based on the Bible. Mainly what Christians call the Old Testament, but there are some aspects or individuals from the New Testament, like John, who appears constantly. He's like one of the fathers of Freemasonry. That's John the Immerser. But I don't think it contradicts it at all. As a matter of fact, I live in a Jewish community. Almost everyone in my lodge is Jewish. And I've met Orthodox rabbis who are Freemasons. And there are many Christians who are Freemasons. As a matter of fact, you're not allowed to join Masonry if you don't believe in God. It's kind of hard for anyone to make the case that it's anti-Torah or anti the Bible. The arguments I have heard by evangelicals is that it doesn't coincide with Christianity because it accepts you if you believe in Allah or if you believe in the God of the Old Testament or Christianity. So they're saying that because it doesn't acknowledge that only someone who believes in Jesus is someone that you could be yoked with in friendship, it's in some way pagan. So, I mean, from that perspective, if you're a Christian who believes like that, then yeah, I mean, it's not compatible with Christianity for sure. I'm not saying that it could in some way be combined with Judaism, but it's just like a philanthropy club, just like the Rotary Club, just like the L Club. It's just like guys getting together, trying to do good in the community. It really has nothing to do with God, but it's based off of biblical value. It's all built around the notion of Hiram Abiff. Hiram Abiff, according to the legend that Masonry teaches, was King Solomon's chief architect. Now, Hiram Abiff in the Bible was actually one of the kings of Tyre. It's all about keeping secrets. But the whole notion of being a Mason has to do with cutting stones. This is really a resurrection of the old Mason guilds. Stonemasons used to travel all throughout Europe, I guess back then, all over the world, with the secrets on how to cut stones and how to form stones and build, arches. Many people would kill for those secrets. So this is why they required people also claiming to be Masons to have a secret handshake to make sure that they could share their knowledge on how to cut stones. So Hiram Abiff, which was King Solomon's chief architect, according to the story, is cornered by apprentices who have not reached the level of Master Mason, and his life is threatened for him to give the secrets over of masonry on how to cut stone. And he puts his dignity and his honor first, and he gets killed for it. King Solomon sends basically assassins to go kill the people who killed him. It's all tied to biblical stories. There's nothing about devil worship in it. Trust me. And these guys don't control the world. Good old-fashioned men that I think it's very useful for people who didn't grow up with male role models in their life, people looking for structure. It's a place to help you build character. And I encourage anyone to give it a try. And then come back and tell me what they think of it.
All right. We got a couple of questions out there in the live chat. And if anyone has questions here in the live room, please let me know and I'll call on you. A person wants to know, what do you mean by hard mitzvah? You tell the potential convert to gear some of the easier mitzvahs. So what would be the differentiate? How would you differentiate an easy mitzvah from a hard mitzvah?
The Rambam there in Asura Bia speaks about things that have a death penalty attached to it. For example, he says one of the things we tell him is that if you broke Shabbat before, you wouldn't be liable to the death penalty. But now after you break Shabbat and you're already a convert, then you are liable to the death penalty. And then it says that we elaborate on the second tithe, leaving what's called peah, the edges of the field for converts, strangers, and poor people. So I think that is equivalent to a heavy command and a light command. One taking care of the poor is not one that the court will punish you for, but breaking Shabbat is something that the court would punish you for. Apart from that, he also mentions the prohibition of idolatry, but I think those are the only three examples that he gives. So being that he's just really reiterating what the Talmud says in Yevamot 47 means that there's wiggle room to add whatever you want, but it has to be one of the actual mitzvot. It can't be rabbinic laws that you're going to use to scare the person, which shows where rabbinic laws actually stand in the big picture of things. They're there to help you progress in an ethical manner, but the Torah is what's paramount. The Torah is what you're accepting. On Mount Sinai, we're not accepting rabbinic laws. Now, yes, that we accept the authority of the court, but why would anyone think you're accepting rabbinic laws that could be abolished tomorrow if there was another court? I know nowadays, I said actually in a Beit Din that was recognized by the state of Israel, what's typically done, they make the person accept all the mitzvot to be makabel mitzvot, but not just Torah mitzvot. They'll say even rabbinic mitzvot. And not just that, I've even heard rabbis, and this is what's typically done, they'll make the individual deny Jesus and deny the Trinity, which is not ever mentioned in halakha. All right, absolute power corrupts absolutely in this case. You're not technically breaking the halakha, especially when halakha itself doesn't condemn the notion of a Trinity or Christianity just because it didn't exist back then. Next.